My name is Anne Keating. I am Carly's mother and I am 58. And shortly before my 50th birthday in August, I took my first epileptic seizure. My knowledge of epilepsy was really based through two areas when I was with work. The first one was my very first teaching job. It was 4 epileptic girls in the class. And the next experience really would have been within the area of special needs. I had no real experience with it, and I found out it was one boy. I never witnessed him having a seizure, but I did notice a thing with his eyes, which was his eyes seemed to be getting further and further back in his head, and there was almost like a fear in his eyes. And then in later years I heard that the boy had actually died from one of the seizures. Again, because it was not personal to me, it was a student as such that, you know, I felt, oh, this is dreadful. But again, I didn't know anything about epilepsy, I had no reason to know anything about it. So, let's see how it goes when I actually get up here, what'll happen. Took 3 of them to bring me around up here the last day I was up here. It was just pure panic. I laugh when I'm at my most nervous or most panic stricken, but it'll be fine. I feel really, really sick. I'm very panic stricken.
No, okay.
Yeah. It must be. It could be the lighting, I don't know, or it could be just the movement on the escalator, I don't know. I just know that I feel really, really panic stricken. It's nothing to do with people. It's just I feel very enclosed and panic stricken. But it'll go away.
Alright, well, we'll go over.
So I was sitting across the table from Carly and just sitting chatting, and everything seemed perfectly normal to me. But I could see that in the conversation I was trying to speak to her, and Emma, you will find, will be quite prominent with me. Emma is a big friend of mine all of a sudden, and I found that we're sitting talking, and again, I forget things, which is quite upsetting. But again, this is fatigue. This is part of it, and there's nothing I can really do about it. So I'm just going to work on through this. So.
It's okay.
The first thing I noticed was I was sitting talking to Carly, just directly, complete eye contact. So I found that the conversation was actually within a square just to the right of Carly's head. So I'm looking directly like this, talking to Carly, but I can see off to one side the conversation. So I started looking at the conversation, trying to read what my sentences should have been, but it wasn't making any sense. So I said, oh, forget it, Carly, forget it. It'll be fine. So I said, what I meant to say was, and the same thing happened again. I don't remember anything after that. This is obviously just my defense mechanism, my way of coping. I started to laugh uncontrollably. There was so much humour, there was nothing funny, but I just kept laughing. I remember being really loud, and in my head I was saying, will you just shut up, stop laughing so much. But I couldn't stop it, and as I was laughing, a child died in the next bed to me. But I wasn't aware of this. I knew somebody was next, but it didn't really seem to matter. I didn't know too much later that this had actually happened. I remember feeling, this is awful that I did that. But I couldn't help it. But I remember them whisking me away, and there was this really nice nurse, and she had me by the hand. And I remember getting really upset and crying uncontrollably. So I'd flipped from laughing totally inappropriately at the wrong time, just continually crying, and my whole thing was this fear of leaving my family. I knew I wasn't going to die, but the fear was that I was not going to be able to help my children or my new grandchild. It's the fear of that. It's not the fear of dying. It's not the fear of what's wrong with you. It's not the fear of anything like that, but it's just fear of what you leave behind. And that was had a big impact on me. So it was not good. Within work, the students are very aware of my condition and are very cooperative with it and very understanding of it and very helpful as regards the difficulties that I now face with epilepsy. I noticed about 2 years ago that I had been coordinator of HND, and I was ever so efficient and was very quick at doing this, could make snap decisions and would say, no, take that down, no, don't do this, don't do that, because my area is art. And I was always having to think on my feet. But I remember commenting, I don't feel well, there's something wrong with me. And I would have these wee lapses of, I noticed that I would say that, the student would talking to me and I would just looking directly at them, not listening to one word. I wasn't aware of them being there. I wasn't aware of anything really. And then I would sort of come round. So I explained to students, and then they noticed that in me, and that was fine. And because they're art students, they seem to be very accepting of an awful lot of things. It seems to be just within their nature to be compassionate people and very understanding. It's difficult for people around me because I know that I irritate people because of the repeating thing. As I'm sure have noticed, the fact I don't remember things. I have to have everybody texting me, and hopefully I can remember this text. It makes me feel ridiculous. And I don't like that. But it's something I'm just going to deal with. And one of the things I'll sort of finish with at this point is I had to get a passport photographs taken, and I'm an American citizen, so I have to go to a particular chemist to get these photographs taken because they're a particular size. And the person taking the photograph, he says, I'll take these again, and I'm not photogenic at all. I'm very aware of that. I hate myself on camera. I hate myself. Photographs, I hate it. Oh my God, don't take my photograph, leave me alone. And get as far back as you can. But he took the photograph once, and I went, yeah, no, I'm 58, of course it's not going to be good. Then he took it again, and I was sort of going, oh my God, is it that bad? And then I thought, oh, maybe he hasn't been sitting right or something, whatever. And then he took it a third time, and I went, look, it'll do. And then I said, just package them up. I have to go, please. It's fine. It'll be dead on. It'll be okay. So I think, good, you want to look when you're 58. So what? They're passport photographs. They're small and they'll not matter. When I got them out, I looked at my eyes in the photograph and I says, what's wrong with my eyes? I was very aware, and they did look strange. And within 2 days, I took my first seizure. So I can see a link between the student that I had many years ago who had died from epilepsy, and I noticed his eyes, and then I noticed in my passport photograph that it was my eyes. And that person taking the photograph obviously wouldn't have had a clue, but he obviously knew there was something strange. Maybe he didn't know, I don't know. But when I looked at the photographs, I went, yeah,